Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Inside Japan. Today, very special place that I am here with Professor Hideaki Hirooka. He's the head of the Sweden Dental Center here in Uchisawa-cho in Tokyo. Professor Hirooka, thank you very much for your time. Great to see you, and thank you for the treatment just now. Professor Hirooka, can you just tell us a bit about your background and how you came to open the Sweden Dental Center?
I got the license here in Japan and worked as a general creator for 10 years. And then I felt I do need real practical training.
Right.
But here in Japan we haven't. So I decided to go to States because for Japanese, foreign should be States and they easy to access. I was in States in 1986, takes away the best place to have a good training.
You wanted to skill up your skills.
Yes. And then finally I met Professor Jan Linde. He is head of the dental school in Penn University.
Okay.
And I got the lectures, and I so kind to me because that he accepted me as a graduate student.
I see.
First, I'd like to study make a capping.
Right.
That's a good man.
Capping to make money, a good way to make money. Okay.
That's stupid. But I know really found that I'm very decent to keep the tooth as it is, and gum disease, especially gum disease. So Sweden is a little bit ahead at that time to treat the gum disease. Also, that they are good at hand to use a special material to regenerate the lost part of the tooth. Also, that I got a training, found the dental implant. If you use a tooth and then place implant titanium, and then it works as like a tooth. It's also from Sweden.
Sweden, right.
And then I decided I want to study in Sweden, but unfortunately at that time we don't have an international graduate course. But Jan Linde, my boss, decided to go back to Sweden, and then I followed him.
Fantastic.
Stayed there 2 years, got a specialist training. 3 years, I got a degree and gave training to the graduate course in Sweden.
Wonderful.
Then I came back.
Can I just ask you, when you first went to America, you were interested in kind of making money, anything about capital, but then you changed. Now I think you're much more interested in good care for your patients. Right? What was it that changed your?
Yes, because that it's a good question, but it's difficult to reply. I'm a person with the medical part, so medical part should be take care of the total health. But in the beginning, I completely misleading. I'm so interested to make a new crown, but it's artificial, faked. So it's much better keep the tooth as it is. If you lose your nose, how to make it? It's the same. And then come into the mind, take care of not only the teeth or tooth, take care of all the life.
Right. Thank you so much. Actually, and can I ask you one more question as well, which I would love to ask you, is about how do you stay? I mean, you've been working here a long time, right? Many years, and you see patients all day long. How do you stay so kind of enthusiastic and interested in your job? I mean, you really have a passion for your job. How do you keep that passion alive?
Yes, it's ongoing change.
Right.
When I was young, so interested to use my hand, and then dentist should not only the hand, but you need the background, knowledge, scientific background, and then I got it. And then I love to take care of the patient. In the beginning, just to make a new crown. That is the only part of the dentist, and take care of whole life. And then I became a little bit old, and then I'm so interested to take care of young dentists here in Japan, to educate. I don't want to be the same as when I decided to go to make money. So now I'm so interested to, as a mentor, to take care of the younger dentists, to get the real to be a real dentist. That is the reason someone pushed me to go ahead.
Very honorable. And can I ask one more question? With your patient, your customer who comes, what do you think is really important to have a good rapport, good relationship, good communication with your patient? What do you think is important?
Yes, in the before I go abroad, I don't want to have patient in front at the restaurant or something like that.
I see.
Now I can go to the restaurant with you, go to beer. The reason why I know what I'm doing during the treatment. That is because of we are human, couldn't be the God. We will make a mistake.
Right.
No 100% success rate for the treatment. I know that. And then I try to use my hand in the best
Best you
way
can.
and the best way to, and then I could take care of the patient. Even you are the head of the big company, the person just came to, for me as a dentist, all
It's
the same.
Yeah. So as you said, the work you're doing is not. You can't guarantee 100% success. Especially a lot of the patients you have very difficult
Yes.
kind of conditions.
Yes. Yes.
So how do you communicate with them that risk and get them comfortable enough so they can take the risk with you? Yeah.
First, treatment. I have very big confidence what I'm doing. The reason is I have a background, scientific background. Know the success rate, survival rate. I don't know why I'm good at to use my hand. Before go abroad, the same hand, but background completely differ. That is the reason I can work with the patient, even the difficult cases. I have a confidence. I'm very good and I can work it. Even so, we might have a small failures. That if home before the treatment, and then I have a confidence I can treat what I want to do that. It's different from the when I was in Sweden. Everything is follow the insurance
Right.
or something like that.
Right.
Here, my clinic, I will do what I want to do. That is
What do you think is best for
yes,
the patient?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I can.
Your experience, how would you compare the kind of dentistry in Japan with what you saw in Sweden or maybe America?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Me as a dentist here in Japan, work as a 10 years as a Jennifer. I found here in Japan we don't have any special training program in the university level. Yes, we have the academic training, that means get the PhD degree. But who just do some research using a dark teeth can get the degree. But I'm a director for 10 years. I want to scale up my hand. And then I try to find where we can get the real training.
Practical training.
Yes,
yeah.
practical training. In States they have it. Also in Scandinavia, in Europe, some countries they have it, but especially in northern part, Scandinavia, they have. That it is I love to be there.
I see.
Yeah.
So which countries would you say are leading in this field of dentistry and implants?
Yeah. Nowadays it's a little bit difficult to compare one to another. When I was in Gothenburg, Sweden is one of the best. For instance, keep the tooth with using regenerative therapy. That means the tooth could be stay in the mouth.
Right.
And then also if you lose, place implant. That is also from Sweden. But
Right.
nowadays it's a tricky because of the website and the new knowledge through the internet.
Right.
So it's difficult. Also in the early days we have a big guy, that's very famous one. This just have a knowledge in the brain. But now we almost of the knowledge in the Macintosh. So I
see.
think all over you can be the best. States, they are very good. Also in Europe, they have a new organization. That means they also have a good education. Also, especially that in Switzerland, they work a very special way to find a good.
So it's much easier now for dentists to get access to the latest information, techniques and so on, and then they can use them in their own practice.
Yes,
Is that what
yes,
you think?
yes.
I see, interesting.
But the dentist is a little bit odd because do need a knowledge at the same time do need a skill.
Yeah.
So do need a place to get the real training in the skill.
Right, okay. Are there any, I mean some of our viewers may have like worried about their teeth and so on, so are there any new treatments that are being kind of revolutionary treatments or approaches that are being developed now?
Oh yeah, yes, there are many are ongoing. For instance, the capping using very special, for instance, from the ceramic to grind it to make like a tooth put it on. That is much easier to make a new crown. Also the lasers, maybe in the future.
Laser treatment.
Yeah. maybe kill the bacteria, cut the gum, and grind the tooth. That is maybe in the future. It's a promising. Yeah.
I read somewhere that there's this technology where you can grow back teeth again.
Yes, but it's much easier keep the tooth as it is. It's a nonsense to have new teeth in the mouth.
I see. Okay, interesting. Thank you. Staying on the subject about teeth, do you have any advice to our viewers about how they can keep a healthy
Yes,
set of teeth?
because of why we lose a tooth, one reason is cavity, one reason is gum disease. Both are caused by bacteria on the tooth surface. If you are good at to use a toothbrush, clean the tooth, your teeth could be in the whole life.
I see.
That means the most important, clean the tooth. If you are not good at in the back zone, to visit the hygienist, ask them to clean it. It's promise.
I see.
So you will keep your tooth whole long time.
Whole life, okay.
Life, yeah.
How about food, or sweet things are no good, or alcohol, or anything like that?
Yes, we have a lot of problem with the very sweet one. Because cavity caused by the bacteria that consume the sugar, produce acid. Acid destroy the tooth surface.
I see.
But we do need sugar to survive. So we do need a kind of the volume of the body, but
sugar,
but it's dependent. So instant every 10 minutes, if you eat a sweet, saliva couldn't destroy the wash out the any sugar. So both things, but maybe for instance, clean the tooth side. Maybe that every 10 minutes we can't clean the tooth. So maybe it's to think about it.
Thank you. Interesting. Just moving on a bit now, so we talked about kind of dentistry and your background, but when you actually went to live in America or Sweden, did anything surprise you about, not so much about dentistry, but just about the way of life, the people, things like that?
Yes, I went to the States several times. If you sit in the cafeteria, 5 minutes, I could be American, but in Sweden it's very odd. Stay there, take 2 years to be close to the another close to friends. But also that when I was in Sweden, so it's something like that. For instance, I'm a dentist, called Dr. Professor Hirooka, but in Sweden we call for the first name, nickname or something like that.
I see.
So it's a little bit differ from Japanese custom. Maybe in the early days, even Sweden is like German professor, doctor, but here in Japan usually professor. But in Sweden, Jan, Bjorn or something. So, like for me too.
Yeah. And did you go with your family?
Yes.
Yeah. And what was it like for them, sort of moving to a different country and maybe going to school? I know you have children. They have to go to Swedish school. What was that like for them?
Yeah, we are lucky enough. I was lucky enough. We went to Sweden with my wife, 2 kids. My wife was pregnant, got a baby in Sweden, and we love to stay there. And we love the life in Sweden. Because after 2 years staying there, we are very close to another Sweden zone. But here in Japan, it's very difficult because inside of the clinic, we are the doctor, the hygienist, the receptionist. Go outside, still keep the same manner.
Oh, I see.
But in Sweden, after clinic, we are just the human to have a relation with each other.
You can be yourself.
Basically be yourself. No bosses and so on. So that's good for us. And also the kids, it's very good to have a communication with Swedish language, Japanese, English. Then now our kids became a kind of international person. So they trip all around the world.
Wow. And when you moved back to Japan, was that quite difficult after being
Yes, we stayed in Sweden for 5 years. We never came back to Sweden. Our kids have a black hair, black eyes, but they felt they are Swede.
And they spoke Swedish as well.
And also the way of thinking, because they educate in the primary school from 1st grade to 5th grade. It's a very important part in the life.
Yeah.
And they came back, they became same like a Swede. During the lesson in the class, they hand up the hand and ask a question, but here in Japan it's prohibited. So no question during the lecture. That is a little bit tough for our kids.
I mean, in Japan, if you ask a question,
Yeah.
maybe it's rude or
Rude, waiting until the lesson or the end of the lecture, we
I
can
see.
ask some question. It's a
Wow.
little tricky.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a little bit tough for my kids. And also that if my wife is not Japanese, if our kids looking for like you and so on, they might have big problem because it looks like Japanese, way of thinking is European. That's
I
causes
see.
a little bit problem.
I
But,
see.
yeah.
Thank you, interesting. And so, in terms of, I mean, you talked about Sweden, but thinking about Japan, what do you love about Japan? What do you think are the really good things about?
Oh,
yeah.
here in Japan, a bit safe.
Right.
That's a key point.
Mm.
One of the day, I invite my boss from Sweden. She brought her daughter and went to Kyoto.
Mm.
On the last day, we decided to go back to Shinkansen, but we found the daughter lost her camera.
Oh.
And then she doesn't care too much about the camera, but inside the camera have a lot of memory.
Yeah.
And then the hotel man make a phone call to all the taxi company. We found it.
Oh wow.
So that is very typical. Especially
Mm.
we can find lost something.
Mhm.
Also that if you're moving around, they're very clean.
Yeah,
They're
very clean.
That is we proud.
Mm.
Also that in the big town, everyone is very kind to the foreigners, take care. But outside, sometimes problem with speaking language.
Yeah.
But I think we are very honest, kind, and so
Mm.
that we like.
How about things maybe you don't like so much about Japan? Maybe-
They're much more inside. I'm a dentist. To go to the meeting, and so that they have a lot much more politics than the European states.
Oh really?
And also that inside of the department in the university have a kind of hierarchy. So
see.
sometimes difficult, but I think they do need it in some part to keep the person or something.
Do you think that hierarchy and the politics, does that kind of slow down the development of
Yes,
dentistry?
absolutely.
Yeah, it
They are
does.
going to change.
Right.
The reason why, as I said,
Mm.
the both professors should have all the knowledge inside of the brain,
Right.
but we can check on the Macintosh to find.
Right.
He couldn't
Yeah.
proud of that,
I
but it's
see.
ongoing to. Also, that there's so many go abroad to
Yeah.
study and came back. They know how to. Also, even the professor nowadays, they have experience outside and they came back. They're
Right.
much more friendly,
I
less
see.
politics and so on. It's going to
mm.
improve. Yeah.
Interesting, thank you. And I know you have a daughter who's just studied at university. I think she's studying medicine. And can you think, sort of, kind of her generation, you know, of Japanese, and I know she lived abroad, right? I think she lived in America for a few years as well. Are they kind of different to Japanese before them, or how would you see them in the future, kind of 3 years, 5 years?
Yeah. For instance, I have 3 kids educated in States, and still my son is in Boston. And even he informed that nowadays when you have graduation, there are less Japanese students than the 5 or 10 years before. That means the younger generation don't want to go outside. But that's causes us a problem in the future. We are much more friendly, likely to go outside. I don't know why the younger generation don't want to go outside. That might be the, I couldn't understand. Even the company person don't like to send a
Go
kid to
abroad,
go abroad.
Do you think if you were like 20 years ago, if you could go back 20 years ago, but you were here in Japan today, do you think you could have learned the techniques you learned in America and Sweden staying here in Japan, or do you think you still need to?
I think, as I said, that there's no training system.
Right,
As a
right.
dentist, you won't be a specialist.
Right.
Should go
So
outside.
still today you
Still,
have to.
yeah.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much. Next question.
Yep.
Now, a lot of people watching this, maybe they're either here in Japan already or thinking of coming to Japan. So, do you have any tips for these non-Japanese viewers? How to get on well with Japanese people?
Oh, yeah, we Japanese little bit difficult to communicate with the foreigner because that we Japanese felt foreigner should be American.
I see.
No one ever guess how you are from Britain, but we felt here from the States. That might be a small problem for the foreigner, even from France. That means we Japanese guess all speak English, not French, not Spanish,
I see.
not German, not Swedish. That might be in mind.
I see.
Yeah, but within the big city, I don't think you don't have any problem
I
to
see.
come to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how about any advice for Japanese people how to get on well with foreigners? Anything like that?
Yeah, we are a little bit tricky. After primary school,
Yeah.
we study English at least 3 years junior high,
Yeah.
3 years high school,
Right.
maybe in university 4 years.
Right.
But just limited to the lesson is to write English and to read it. Not good at. We felt something like that.
Right.
That might be the difficulty to communicate to the foreigner. But after, if you started, they will improve. And also even me, first time I was in States, I couldn't speak anything but to try to speak, and then we don't have any big one. That's you should remember. We guess, our foreigners should guess, we Japanese not good at, but want to speak.
I see. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Another question I always ask people on this series is about Japanese historical figures, like authors or political figures or leaders. Anyone that you really admire?
4 years I got a training in Sweden. My boss is a boss. Follow me, that means the boss walking ahead. We follow.
When he says follow me,
Yeah.
he goes first and then
Yeah.
you follow.
Yes.
Okay.
In the early days here in Japan, for instance, Takeda Shinge, he's a very famous, the person who samurai.
Right.
But he said, follow me, everyone follow. But nowadays, especially in the company or something, the head just sit in the chair and then said, follow me. That means that another should go ahead. That might be a little bit tricky. That means we love especially the Sengoku Jidai, the area, everyone to fight each other. The head should be, and especially the head decided the fight.
Right.
Yeah.
So Takeda Shinden.
Takeda Shinge.
Shinge. He was a very kind of good leader.
Yes, yes.
I see. Okay. Next question. If you could take the best part from Sweden, the strengths of Sweden and maybe strengths of Japan, and mix them together, what would you create? How could you create something?
It's difficult to answer, but me as a dentist, and we have a public insurance organized at the government. Also, the Sweden have a good insurance, especially healthcare system, is really good.
Yeah.
And they are all treatment based on the scientific evidence. That means follow this is a good way or bad way. But here in Japan, it's much more political way to decide the treatment.
Oh, really?
Itself. For instance, in Sweden, the government never covered treatment in the back, because even we lose a back tooth, we still keep it and we can survive. That is a little bit tricky for me, but it's real. Also, that yes, just something like that. We have a Japanese insurance system imported from German. That maybe nowadays even the Germans, they are going to change. D.D.S should be treated first, and then take care of the rest of the part, put the new crunch, white material or something. But still in Japan, the government lacking the money, so try to find the source to get the money to pay for the dental system, but still much more not evidence-based.
I see. No, so in Japan, on the health system, what's
Yeah.
covered for your teeth? With the
Oh,
health system?
yeah, we Japanese are lucky because government cover almost everything,
I see.
but the quality is different.
Right.
For instance, in Britain, they have a quite similar insurance system, but the treatment
Yeah.
is not similar like in Sweden. They are lucky because everything is covered if it's evidence based.
I see.
But also that here it's difficult to say because if you are Swede, listen to my watch my video. We Japanese are very good at hand.
Right.
I think the Chinese might have that, but we Japanese, I'm very proud to use my hand in the proper manner, me as a surgeon or something. That may be different, but they have a good training, even they are not good at that. They have a real good job. And then they are ahead. We are a little bit.
You know monozukuri culture. Do you think that applies for dentistry
Yes,
with
yes,
your hands?
yes.
Could you say a bit about that?
Yes, because, for instance, we dentists are called dental surgeon. Surgeon is a person who manages their own hand.
Mm-hmm.
So we Japanese are very good. That means that we are very suitable for the as a dentist.
Fine detailed work.
Fine detailed work and so on. Also, we have a very good equipment, instrument. That is a good part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, do you have final message for our viewers?
Oh yes, please come to Japan. We're willing to you to come to Japan, the spare time and enjoy the historical part, and especially in spring we have a cherry blossom. In autumn we have a good red or yellow leaves and so on. So we are always welcome you to come to Japan. Please enjoy Japan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hirooka, Professor Hirooka.
Yeah.
And if any of you need any dental treatment, I can strongly recommend Hirooka Sensei.
Thank you.
He's a wizard with his hands and also his knowledge that he has. So if you come to Japan or if you're here already, this is a great place to come if you want some work done on your teeth. So having done the interview, should we get back and finish my treatment?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Great, okay, thank you so much. Okay, where were we? Okay, open wide, yeah, okay.
The problem.